I was not saying that about you. I'm saying that those talking points are the same talking points. If you just put it in another conversation with them, it sounds alike to me. That's a me thing. So if you want to take offense to it, that is your choice. I don't know what to tell you about that.
So, Bo, question: what does it mean when you say that?
I got an even better one. So if I say, Bo, you sound like a right now. Am I calling you a or am I saying that you sound like a? Is that disrespectful? Is that insulting?
I do understand that um, black women should be protected. Black women should be loved, appreciated, everything else. That to me, it should be a given. I know that the way that the internet appears, sometimes it doesn't seem like that, but yeah. And I would say for the most part, everybody here representing would agree with that sentiment. But there is a threshold that you can go beyond where it just gets ridiculous. And I think that's what we saw. And maybe it could have just been the energy in the room, right? Because sometimes when you're having these conversations, depending on what the vibe is going to dictate what the others people's response is, right? Like let's just say somebody was pissed off and they start yelling. Not everybody yelling. If somebody is this, they see this as the vibe. It could have been directed or anything. It just didn't seem realistic. I was like perplexed at how they came to those conclusions that they did because it just didn't seem sound to me. I'm like, nah, it didn't seem genuine. I understand what it is that they're trying to do, but sometimes you have to recognize that people will be able to detect authenticity or the lack thereof.
All
So
right.
I mean, go ahead, go ahead.
No, you go ahead and finish.
No, you good, you good. I think Bo was about to say something.
Bo, will you respond?
No, but I will say this. I was not calling Marcus a white man. I said, you remind me of when I talked to white. You sound like them. So I want you to listen to the words that I am saying. And I said that I do not mean to be offensive because this was not an insult to you. This puts me in the mind of these conversations that I have. So I want to make it very, very clear. You took that personally. I did not call you that. I was not saying that about you. I'm saying that those talking points are the same talking points. If you just put it in another conversation with them, it sounds alike to me. That's a me thing. So if you want to take offense to it, that is your choice. I don't know what to tell you about that.
So, Bo, question: what does it mean when you say that?
I got an even better one. So if I say, Bo, you sound like a bitch right now. Am I calling you a bitch or am I saying that you sound like a bitch? Is that disrespectful? Is that insulting? It's real disrespectful, right?
No.
Oh,
What if
okay.
you What if you say, "Oh,
No
you
more
you
questions,
sound
man. She
you
said no.
sound like
So
If
that"?
you say, I mean, when you put it like that, you sound like one. Maybe not. You're not calling me one. If I choose to take offense to it, that's on me. I can
well,
take offense to that. I can take it as disrespect. Sure, yeah. Absolutely I can. But I was just trying to tell you that I wasn't calling you that. So if you want to stay mad about it, I don't give a fuck. But
I'm not mad. I'm actually not mad at all. I really I don't care at
so
all.
what's up,
I'm
Mont?
not mad.
I would like to know because I'm curious. I'd like to know when you do say that, what does that mean to you, and and
Okay.
also the second question would be, how should we take that reasonably?
I can't tell you how to
Not,
take anything. I can only tell you what I meant by it. I don't I'm not
yeah,
instructing anyone on any of that.
yeah.
But what I will say is in my younger years of trying to have a conversation with white men in general, white people, but white men in general, um, it's a very like I am the most important, what I think is important. Like, it's like the reason why I didn't want to give my opinion on anything is because it wouldn't have mattered. Every single thing that I say is always wrong, or that's not the way men think. That ain't the way men operate. That ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's always pushback. There is no progress. There is no woman's perspective that matters. So I was just like, those are not talking points that I am going to be able to argue, because I understand that me as a woman, the things that I have to say and the viewpoints that I have about it will not matter, because as a man, that is how he's going to live his life. That this is how you all view women. You all think that men are the beginning and the end. You all think that men create life and women are just there as incubators. I can't argue against that. That is a very supremacist talking point. That is a very like, I am the most important. We are here together to do a job together. No one can do that without the other. Period. You are not the beginning and the end. We are the beginning and the end. We are the ones that create life together. I protect, I hold it, I protect it, but we equally create. That's what we've been saying the whole night. That's what women have been saying the whole night, is that we create equally together. I'm not going to be able to argue that against a man, because you all think that you all are the ones that create life. You all think that you all are the ones that create everything and do everything. Cool. You got it. I'm cool on it. But that's what it feels like, fighting against or arguing with white people. You can't tell them anything. What they think is what they're going to think. How they operate is how they're going to operate. They are not going to change. Cool. You got it. I let them have it years ago, decades ago.
I got a question, Bo. Unless I've taken leave of my senses, what man said that men are men are the ones creating life? No, well, he said something about the beginning and the end, but he didn't say create life. Did you say that true?
But you also said that women don't create anything. We just hold it. I was talking about both of you guys.
But I didn't say men create life. I agree with you.
I didn't say that either, but you also said that all we do is hold it. We do create. But what that man left out was that both of us create. I was going to argue against what he was saying, because both of us do that, not just women.
So I agree. But to say that means you agree with me that women don't create life.
We do create life. We just do it together.
Right. No. Women and men together create life. You must have a man and a woman to create life. Without that, one person cannot create life. So women don't create life. So we agree. That's all I was saying, because he opened with the only thing he said, next to God, there's only two things I'm aware of that can create: God and women, exclusively and individually. And I'm like, that's where I got thrown off. I'm like, because women are incapable of doing that. They would need a man, which is what you just said, which means you agree.
I think that he likely, what I took it as that he meant is there's only woman and God that can bring forth life. I don't know about the creation of it. That's not right.
Well, that's what he's saying.
God and woman are the only ones that can bring forth life.
I mean, that's speculation, but the words that came out of his mouth were as such. And they didn't say anything about bring forth. He said create.
No, I'm saying that was me. I'm like, he must have misspoke, because that was wrong. That's all I'm saying. My take is on my opinion on it is that God and woman bring forth life.
So
Even
Like
in the,
woman
in the
is the
Bible,
part of God that brings forth life. Men are the part of God that gives it to a woman.
even
No,
in the Bible,
brings
women
it.
were, even in the Bible, women were an afterthought. God created man first, so it's not we can't.
I
There's
don't
not.
go. I don't have nothing to do with the Bible. I'm just
Well, when
saying
you say
how.
God, well, okay, so then we got to take God out of the conversation altogether.
No, because God exists without the Bible.
Okay.
So, bro, real quick, I posed a question Tuesday when we were talking about this, and I asked, the other gentlemen that were on the panel, if we feel like we are an accurate representation of what men are, and I think most everyone agreed that we are the odd ones out. So, when you're speaking, even though you may have a difficult time with us, it doesn't mean that it has no purpose, because it could easily resonate with somebody else in the audience. It could touch somebody else. You likely have some people who are who have a viewpoint adjacent to yours. Maybe not us, but again, I do think we're like odd men out. Just this is anecdotal, but based on what I've seen, which is a very, very large sample size of how households go and everything else, the stuff we talk about is not what I see in real life, period. And I've been in over 35,000 households. So what I'm saying is that it's atypical. No, nobody on the panel is like that. So it doesn't mean that this is like the consensus of men. That's not real. What people's thoughts, they're different. And then there's some of us who could actually live like that. And then there's some people who just fantasize about our talking points, right? And I think that most men would struggle with the same things that we're talking about. So that's all I wanted to really say on that part of it. So because regardless of, and I do believe that even there's been plenty of times where I would agree with a lot of your points, or at least be open to your perspective and receive some insight from it. So it's not a situation where we need to. It sounds like you feel like you just can't get through to what it is that we're saying. Like we're just swatting down every one of your talking points, but it's not really even like that. There's women on here for a reason. It's for the female perspective. And if we're talking about relationships, it's the other half of the puzzle, in all honesty.